and welcome to Inside ICSD with Dr. Brown on WRED, a new show with Superintendent Dr. Brown that takes a look inside the Ithaca City School District. I'm Parker Hubble, a senior at Ithaca High School, and our show is produced by my fellow English and digital media classmates at Ithaca High School. I'm joined today with Dr. Brown, who as Superintendent of Schools is focused on building a world-class organization. His strategy includes building partnerships with a wide range of organizations, embracing 21st century technology tools, and fostering meaningful interactions with the ICSD team and the greater community.
Thank you, Parker. On this episode of Inside ICSD with Dr. Brown, we'll get to know members of the district's administrative team and learn how they support the district's mission to educate, engage, and empower, and our district's vision of 6,000 plus thinkers. Joining us today on the show are Dr. Lori Bruce Jallow, Dr. Matt Landahl, Mr. Jason Trumbull, and Ms. Amanda Verber. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
So, to start off, how about you tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you do for the district? And we'll start with you, Dr. Lori Bruce Jallow.
I'm Lori Bruce Jallow. I've been with the district for over a year. I help support the district in areas of professional development, special education, our federal title grants, English as a second language program, and academic intervention services.
Dr. Landahl.
Thanks for having us on the show, Dr. Brown and Parker. I appreciate it. I'm in my second year here in the Ithaca City School District. I'm the Chief Elementary Officer. And during my career, I've spent almost the entire time in elementary schools, either as a teacher or a principal. And so in my work now, I work with all 8 principals of our 8 elementary schools, and I do a lot of behind-the-scenes support work with curriculum and student services. So anything that's elementary, I'm involved with.
Thanks, Dr. Landahl. Mr. Trumbull.
Hello all. Thanks for having us this morning. My name is Jason Trumbull, and I'm in my 22nd year in the Ithaca City School District. And my first 11 years I was here at Ithaca High School as a social studies teacher as well as track and cross country coach. And in the 9 years after that I was the principal at Boynton Middle School. So I've spent all my career at the secondary level, and much like my colleague here, Dr. Landahl, as a chief secondary officer, all things curriculum and all things related to students at our 4 secondary schools, Boynton, DeWitt, Lehman Alternative Community School, and Ithaca High School, are in essence what I do to support our district becoming a world-class district.
Mr. Trumbull, 22 years, you're the veteran on the team. And the newest member of the team, Ms. Amanda Verber.
That's right. I'm Amanda Verba. I'm the Chief Operations Officer here at Ithaca City School District, and I've been here only since mid-August. So I am the newbie of the team and proud to be it. My job is to essentially oversee the infrastructure of the district as a whole. So I manage, plan for, develop the school district budget. I work with all of the team members to make sure that the facilities are working properly, that transportation is running smoothly, that the food and nutrition program is off and running every day. I also provide oversight to the Dignity Act for all students, which is a New York State initiative that makes sure that students are feeling safe and secure and protected in their school buildings and free from harassment.
Thank you all. Parker, here's our team.
Right. So, could you guys please tell us about some of the initiatives you're working on or in the district, and explain how they're connected to the district's vision of 6,000, maybe?
Sure. As Chief Excellence Officer, one of the things that brought me to Ithaca City Schools was its modeling of the collaborative nature of decision making. All of us work together great as a team, and I see myself sort of as a connector to our elementary and secondary schools. I work in the areas of equity, cultural responsiveness, the special education improvement plan, which includes response to intervention and inclusion, and none of that work could happen without the collaboration of my colleagues as well as the many district staff, leaders, and instructional folks that are in buildings every day.
At the elementary level, we have several projects that we're working on. One of the biggest projects right now is we have about 80 teachers working on developing a curriculum framework where we're trying to take the new Common Core standards and find ways to integrate subject areas and also look for ways to make things more engaging for our students pre-K through 5. And along with that, we have an initiative that spans elementary all the way to secondary, and that's our instructional coaching initiative. So we have 4 elementary schools, and the 3 middle schools have an instructional coach in the building, and their job is to work with teachers on whatever the teacher feels like they need help with. So it could range from instructional strategies to a different way to interact with students, or using technology in the classroom. And instructional coaches in these buildings, they don't work with kids themselves, they're just there to work with teachers and help their growth. Another project that is in its very early stages at the elementary level is we have developed a committee comprised of community members, teachers, administrators, and some parents. And this committee is focused on finding ways to teach world languages at the elementary level. So we meet monthly, and we have wide-ranging discussions and debates about the best way to go about that. And so right now we're looking for the right blend of teaching world languages, both from a teacher and also using technology. And so we're still, as I said, in the early stages of this project, but we look forward to making some recommendations to the board in the coming months about where we'd like to go with that.
And at the secondary level, it picks up much from the elementary level, and Dr. Landau and I work closely to make sure that we do have good alignment from K to 12. One of the initiatives that we're working on right now is really drawing together our 3 middle schools. That really hasn't happened too much in the past. In essence, 7th grade math teachers working across the board with one another. We've got 3 release days of which they're looking at common approaches to go after what skills students need to acquire. And the second phase to that will be strong transition plan from grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, ultimately to grade 9. As I look around at your crew, we have many Boynton representatives and many DeWitt alum that should in many respects have common approaches to skill acquisition. And that's a major initiative that we have right now, and then frankly a thoughtful conversation of what skills our middle school students possess carrying on to the high school. A second initiative that goes with that directly supports students, and you may have already seen 8th graders that both attend Boynton and DeWitt in Ithaca High School already in this school year. We had a group last year work on transition committee. We had representatives from the 3 schools come together and really talk about what it would look like to have students in the 8th grade level come to the high school earlier and immerse themselves in the culture, get a sense of how large the school is, see what classes look like, really begin to concretize and figure out what it is my goals are while they're still in 8th grade versus the big shock of coming to a fairly large high school. So those are 2 things that we've worked on at the secondary level, and we've seen some good movement so far.
I just wanted to ask, does this have an association with the Link Crew here at IHS?
Very much so. The Link Crew has been instrumental in helping with the transition. As a matter of fact, I think it was 2 weeks ago where the 8th grade came over, and it was a Link Crew that were touring the students around, and from the feedback that I got, the Link Crew was amazing in terms of the response they've received from 8th grade staff as well as 8th grade students. They were very welcoming, very knowledgeable, and I think that set a great tone for our 8th graders that are back at Boynton and DeWitt, saying we're really getting ready to go to Ithaca High School, and we're planning another trip later on in the spring. So the Link Crew was tremendously receptive, and we're great leaders and great role models for our middle school students. And I appreciate you bringing that up.
So from the business office perspective, to support all these fabulous initiatives that were just outlined, you have to have a scaffolding available to be able to sort of adhere all of these things to, right?
Right.
So if you think about the school district budget and the management of that, to make sure that the priorities align with the funding streams, to be able to bring the right folks to the table, to be able to discuss those priorities and allocate funds accordingly, to make sure that we're working with the right stakeholders so that their voices are heard, and always planning, looking at what we've done in the past, evaluating that, looking at what we're doing currently, making sure that we're allocating those funds, and then looking to the future to make sure that we're properly planning for whatever new initiatives come our way. That scaffolding, without it, we really can't be able to continue to build a proper program here. And so we have a district mindset, a district-wide mindset, and it's everything from making sure that there's meeting spaces available that are heated and have lighting, to making sure that people have transportation to get to those places. We're also, doing our own initiatives to make sure that we have the ability to look for savings wherever we can in the current climate of whatever fiscal factors are coming our way. So certain things that we might be doing are an environmental audit of the entire district, looking at where we might be misusing or mismanaging our funds or our utility usage and our energy usage, and trying to make sure that we correct that and keep it current and keep it green and keep it viable. And so then that way we'll be able to get savings from that and be able to either enhance or look at the physical structure of the district as a sort of a working plant or a work place, and allocating those funds then to be able to revamp and revise and make sure that we have a really viable physical operations here.
So, see if I'm understanding this. It's more of you kind of create a structure where they get to kind of climb that ladder and do whatever the projects and activities that are really great, and kind of put those in use across the board. So I think I have a question off that, is that do you ever need to come to them to ask for something?
Absolutely, all the time. I think a lot of the business office function is constantly asking for efficacy, right? So thinking about what does it take, what does it cost, what are the resources, not just financially, but also human capital, building capital, and sort of looking at that as a whole plan and making sure that those things are moving forward accordingly in the most viable but also effective and streamlined process possible, because we want to make sure that we're doing things the best but with the least amount of dollars.
Parker, I recently read a report that stated that school administrators are amongst the most stressful positions in the world.
Wow.
I have a question for this team. Knowing that these roles are very stressful and the tenure isn't very long, how does this team work together to support one another to meet the district's vision and mission? Anyone?
I'll take a stab at that, Dr. Brown. I think your constant attention to team is a critical role there. Frankly, we laugh a lot. It might not look like it here on TV in front of cameras, but we spend an awful lot of time together strategizing, theorizing, and the great thing that I've always enjoyed about the Ithaca City School District is that larger sense of team that we have. So we have a vision of being 6,000 plus thinkers, and we take that very seriously. So as we sit here with you, you're one of those thinkers, and as you're thinking about questions to get a further understanding of what the district leadership team looks like, that's a great example of how we're engaged and empowered and educating every day. So I think for us, laughing together a lot, working collaboratively with one another, in many respects understanding and learning our roles, but supporting some fabulous building leaders, a fabulous staff, top to bottom, K to 12, and being around kids. It's pretty inspiring every day. So it helps.
One of the things I love about the team is our sense of priorities on people. We're very staff-centered, family-centered, student-centered, and so all of our decisions that we make, where we may make together as an executive team or bring other administrators and teachers in, we always keep that in mind in terms of how we're serving school district employees as well as families and students. And so that grounds every single thing that we do, as well as look at our alignment to our mission, which is to educate, empower, and to engage. Thank you.
Well, Parker, I think we're out of time. I hope that everyone enjoyed this episode of Inside ICSD with Dr. Brown. We will be having more opportunities to talk with students, community members, administrators to learn more about what's happening in the district and field questions from the community and students. We're here to engage, empower, and educate. And part of doing that is to get in front of the camera with young people like you and have conversations that are engaging. So thanks for having us on today, and thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.